government, and the government was not cooperative. As far as I'm concerned, the then Administrator Generals were quite happy to allow that. It was policy to allow these mining houses to get away with it, and I started raising it as a public issue.
Lang's insistence that the Tyrian Commission should inquire into mining met fierce resistance.
I held a public meeting where I threatened to release Namibia's mineral statistics, to which countries they were being sold and at what prices.
What was the reaction to that?
Well, at this meeting it was stalled, and Judge Tyrion was called to the Administrator General's offices, and on that evening we agreed that Tyrion would look into mining, and I think that the fear of the authorities that these statistics would now be made public forced their hand.
Judge Tyrion's investigators soon discovered that in Namibia the mining companies were a law unto themselves. When the judge's report was published last year, it disclosed some disturbing practices. At one mine, a total of 420,000 tons of ores were sent out of the country as geological samples. At another, the state leased the mining rights to a businessman for £1,500 a year. He reassigned them for an income, £650,000 a year. At the British-controlled Tsumeb mine, lead and copper which left the country contained hidden treasure, quantities of undeclared gold and silver. Refined abroad, these added millions to the company's takings from Namibia. And the British South West Africa Company exported £7 million worth of minerals without paying any tax. But the judge saved his sharpest words for the diamond industry. The Diamond Board's controls were a sham. The diamond profits tax didn't work. The people of Namibia received nothing from it. The tax and millions more besides were paid back by the government in royalties to an Oppenheimer company. In his most serious finding, the judge found that De Beers had broken an agreement with the state and had for 20 years been stripping Namibia of its most precious asset, the diamonds of Oranjemund. In Namibia, diamonds are mined by digging up vast quantities of the beach and putting them through treatment plants that separate the diamonds from the dirt. But some parts of the beach have far more diamonds than others. It's good mining practice to work to average grade, surveying the entire deposit and working the rich and poor sections together in a balanced and responsible way. This prolongs the life of the mine and leads to the extraction of the maximum number of diamonds. The judge found De Beers had adopted bad mining practice. For years, the company had concentrated on the rich deposits with the best and biggest diamonds. Their policy shortened the life of the mine and made some diamond deposits completely uneconomic. It was Gordon Brown who provided the judge with hard evidence of what was going on. For 15 years he worked at the mine, first as a supervisor, then as technical assistant to the mine manager.
The overmining took place on the upper terraces and the end blocks, which were those series of beaches situated furthest from the sea. That's where the richest blocks were in terms of grade and stone size. There was a central block between the two major beaches. Now that was of lower grade. Now that was left behind. The company concentrated on taking out the ore reserves furthest from the sea. That's not good mining practice. Proper mining practice calls for mining to average ore reserve grade and average stone size of the total payable ore body. I would liken this to a nice big cream cake, a nice spongy cake with lots of cream on top. Under normal circumstances, people would take out a slice at a time, a piece of cream with the sponge. Now that is proper mining practice, taking out the rich with the poor. In this case, in the case of overmining, what happens is the cream is all scraped off the top before getting stuck into the sponge.
De Beers denied they overmined, but to support his evidence to Judge Tyrion, Gordon Brown produced internal company records showing the rate at which De Beers was overmining diamonds. In a report dated September 1968, the general manager recorded overmining by 323%. Much later, in a 1981 report, a senior manager warned that the mine would power dive itself into early closure unless the rate of overmining died.